Alright, this is a video about divisibility rules. One thing that I have noticed with working with you guys is that you don't know some little tips and tricks to know if a number goes into another number or not without having to completely divide it out. So this is huge with the rest of your math career to help you be more efficient and to kind of solve if numbers go into other numbers without having to divide it out. So make sure you have your name and hour. You will be turning this in by the end of the hour today, and some groups have an additional assignment after that. So make sure you use your time wisely. So here we go. The number 2. To tell if if 2 goes into a number, if a number is even. So if it's an even number, 2 will go into the number. So write this with me. So if it's an even number. Now, in order to know if it's an even number, the last digit is 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. If the last digit is one of these numbers, 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, 2 will go into that number. Okay? So 2, that's an even number, the last digit. 3, this is where a lot of you guys don't know this rule, but if you add the digits together, and if 3 goes into the sum, 3 will go into that number. So you want to add the digits together. Add the digits together. And if the sum is divisible by 3, 3 will go into that number. So for example, 4 plus 2 plus 3. If you add these together, 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 3 is 9. So this is 6 plus 3, that's 9. 3 will go into this number because 3 can go into 9. So that one is huge to know. That really helps. 4. To know if 4 goes into a number, if the last 2 digits, whatever the number, the last 2 digits, whatever that makes up, if 4 goes into the last 2 digits, then 4 can go into that number. So the number the last 2 digits make it'll say if divisible by 4, 4 goes into it. That's not very good. Divisible by 4. So for example, this is 28. 28 will be evenly divisible by 4, so 4 will go into 128. Now, if I wanted to know how many times, then I would do the math to do it. But if I just want to check to see if it's divisible by 4, that's what I can do real quick. I can check to see if those two digits, 28, 2 and 8 make 28, then 4 will go into that. 4 will go into that whole number. 5. You guys, many of you guys know this, but if the last digit is 0, 0, or 5, 5 will go into that number. Okay, now 6. 6 will go only into a number if the number is divisible by 2 and 3. If the number is divisible by 2 and 3. Okay, if the number is divisible by 2 and 3, 6 will go into it. So, well, this is divisible by 2 because that's even. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. So it's divisible by 2 and 3. That means 6 goes into it. But if it's only even, like this one, this is even, but add that, oh, that would work. Bummer. Would this work? No. This will work. 2 can go into this number, but if you add it together, that's 11, and 3 won't go into 11. So 6 won't go into that number. So it has to be divisible by 2 and 3. Now 7, there is no easy way. Unfortunately, you would actually have to divide it out. And so on this one, you would actually have to divide by 7 to see if it does. That's 4, that's 28, that's 0. 7 goes into 7 once. 7 does not. That's 7, that's 2. So this is not divisible by 7. Unfortunately, there's no easy ways for 7. What's nice about it, you don't have to test it that often. Okay? 8. 8. Now 8 is similar to 4. So the rule is similar to 4, but the last 3 digits. So the last 3 digits, the number, I should put the number made by the last 3 digits, sorry. The number made by the last 3 digits. See if that's divisible by 8. So it's 480. So now 480, some of you can see that it is divisible by 8. If not, go ahead and divide it out. 8 goes into 48 6 times. That's 48, 0, 0. So 8 will go into that number. Now to actually figure out how many times, you'd have to divide it out. But if I just want to know if 8 goes into it, that's what I can do. 9. 9 is going to be similar to 3. If you add the digits together, and 9 goes into the sum. So add the digits together. And the sum is divisible by 9. So 9 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3. 9 plus 2 is 11, plus 7. 11 plus 7 is 18. And that's probably a bad example, what I just did to you right there. But it's all addition, so it doesn't matter the order. I'll leave it like that. 11 plus 7 is 18. 9 will go into 18. Now, what happens if you get a number you don't know? You can add these digits together. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 goes into that. So 9 will go into that number. So that is divisible by 9. 10. Now, you guys all know 10, hopefully. If not, it's the last digit. The only way 10 can go into the number if the last digit is 0. If the last digit is 0. It's the only way 10 can go into a number. Okay, so those are divisibility rules. You want to keep referring back to this. The back of this, you are not using a calculator. So up above in your own directions, it'll say no calculator. You're not using a calculator to do this. And in fact, I think I have different numbers than you. Hold on. I did. I changed it. So on your paper, this says 51. This says 216, 3652. So there's different numbers. I changed some of these. Okay, so what you're doing is you are finding, so the example 10, well, is it divisible by 2? Yes, because 0 is an even number. Is it divisible by 3? No. 1 plus 0 is 1, so that doesn't work. 4 doesn't go into 10. 5 does. 6 does not. 9 does not. 10 does. Okay, your next number, 51. Well, it's not divisible by, oops, better not do that. It's not divisible by 2 because it's not even. Now 3, remember the rule for 3. 5 plus 1 is 6. 3 will go into that. 4, well, the last two numbers, you have to know if 4 goes into 51. Does not. 5, it doesn't end in a 5 or a 0. 6, it's not divisible by 2 and 3, so 6 is not. 9, nope, 9 won't because you know your facts, and 10. So 3 is the only one that'll, now 3 times something will give you 51, but divisibility rules between at least 1 and 10, and we can test those. Now some of these, like for example on here, there's a lot of these that I have work off to the side. You are not using a calculator, and to test it, I better see some work off to the side to see if it really works. 8s, you're going to have to test. Oh, and you guys should have an 8 also. I added that to your sheet. So you should have 8. You will not have a 7. So this is an old sheet that I didn't. Anyway, so I updated it. So that's how you do it. You need to complete this. Algebra students, you have a second assignment after this. Math 8, you don't. So make sure you do this correctly. I am taking not completion, but I'm taking accuracy. So you want to make sure that you have them all down. Down here, you have a challenge problem that says write a number which is divisible by all the numbers 1 through 10, excluding 7, and you must be different than other students' answers. So if I see a bunch that have the same, I'm not counting any of yours. So you want to challenge yourself to see if you can find a number. All the numbers are divisible by 1, but 2 through 10, you don't have to include 7, but try to find a number that you can use all of the rules with. Okay, that's what you're doing, and turn that in when you are done today.